Saturday morning, the beginning of Labor Day weekend, and ready for Moosie's homecoming. Guess what I did? I sat down at the piano this morning that I thought I didn't want anymore. And I dug out all the old sheet music and I was playing with my bifocals trying to read. I haven't touched that piano in a long time, and something happened inside my heart when I started to play. Very rusty to begin with, but I played for about an hour and a half sitting there at that piano. And something happened inside of me. So you might have to wait till the next video to see the plan and how it changed as to where the Art Deco dressing table is going. I hope you enjoy this video. In this video, I get really emotional, talking about the old days, my dad and I singing when I was just a little girl, me playing the piano, him singing, my Burt Bacharach book that I played all the songs and loved. I have all this, and just another something that I enjoyed and have discovered maybe I still enjoy. Talking back and forth on the phone with Moosie, and it looks like he is coming home next week, whether it will be Wednesday or Thursday. So we're really excited. We're getting ready. Everybody's helping. Brendan and Micah were down this morning, and they've moved my Art Deco, but there's been a big change of plans as to where we thought it was going to go. Well, it looks so bare, doesn't it? It's all cleaned out, and I've transferred all my jewelry to the living room, and we've made a decision. Guess where we're putting it? It's such a pretty piece, isn't it? You know, once everything looked so bare, I looked around and some of the walls needed some touching up. I don't know whether you can see there were holes up here in the wall and a few touches here and there. And I got out my acrylic white paint and I went around with a paintbrush after I did all this work this morning, touched up here in the kitchen, and all you do is just go over the white. So this photo was taken up in Big Bear one Christmas, and honestly it must have been, I'm gonna say 20 years ago or more. These are the grandchildren that basically are the moms and dads to the ones that are hanging on the wall. For instance, this is Ryan. She's now 21, and she was the baby Jesus with a hat on up in the mountains in Big Bear that very first Christmas we did this. This wall is going to look pretty bare in here, but I have some ideas for it. And the air conditioner will only be here for the month of September, hopefully, and then that'll be out of the way. Here, I've put a lot of my jewelry. I have my cuffs. One of them fit in there. I have a big bowl of cuffs, I think, under here. This is also cuffs in there. Some hanging jewelry. And down here I have these. I haven't started to put these in. Believe it or not, I'm going to put rings in here to separate them when I get a chance to sit down and have some fun with the jewelry. But for now, this is where all my jewelry is. There's still a few things hanging around on chairs and on the bedposts, but I kind of like them. They'll stay there. I have a feeling that the Art Deco dresser might look a lot nicer than the piano does. I'm sure the cat might find a little bit of a roost on it, but I don't really care if this goes. I have no attachment to the piano, and there's other things I'm doing these days. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Might even put the two lamps on it too. I brought those in here to set them here. Are you looking to see what's happening to your piano? What? I know, it's okay. You'll recover. You'll recover. Are you checking it out? I'm just playing here for a few minutes before it goes. Oh, don't like the smell of the Clorox, huh? What? It's okay. It's okay. You're just sniffing around. Nanny cleaned the piano up a little bit, so maybe somebody will take it down on the street. And we won't have to pay. I know, you're sitting up there looking out, checking out for that marmalade cat that comes to visit, huh? Nanny was just playing some songs. You can go out now. How about that? I leave our little friend up here for a while. Everybody gets scared with that. He looks real, doesn't he? You checking him out? She tried to figure out how to get down. Normally this is closed. I better close it. She doesn't like stepping on the keys. Okay, go on. Go on down. Time to take down the blue. Get my white back up again. See if I can reach this. Yes. This is an easy job, just teaches. The rod comes down and I have all these. What I do is I put quilts on these little brass hangers and I clip them on, and it's easy to keep changing them out. What I have to do is take this out and then let them fall off and then begin to put the whites on. That's not good. Okay. Don't want to start breaking things around here. Maybe I'll put this up later. There we go. Okay, so this one, now I have to start taking all of these off. It's a simple job. So this morning, I got up early again. Didn't sleep last night again. It's like, have a good night, have a bad night. Have a good night, have a bad night. So all I do is just squeeze these little things. They're little clips. And that way it's easy to open and close it. Anyway, I didn't sleep too well last night. And got up this morning and I said, okay, still have work to do. Well, I've been thinking about my piano, and Micah and Brendan said they'd be down this morning and move the piano. I think I told you in the last video that I thought maybe I'd get rid of my piano here in the hallway and then put the Art Deco dresser there instead, and that way I wouldn't have to put it in the shed and wrap it up. Well, so this morning when I woke up, I knew that Brendan wasn't up yet because he worked late last night at his summer job. And I thought, okay, let me sit down at the piano and just check it out. It looks kind of dirty. I better clean the keys. I haven't played it in a long time. I know Dane, our trumpet player, grandson, a couple months ago was up and tried to play the piano, and he was looking at his fingers. They were all sticky. I bet it's been 5 years since I've played that piano. I don't know why. I used to play it for a long time. I played. We had, I played in our home, our family home, and as a child, I played on a baby grand, and it was in my mother's family. It was late 1800s. It was wonderful, and I started taking lessons at about probably 8 or 9 years old, took lessons for 4 or 5 years, and then stopped taking lessons when I went to high school, but I still played. And my father used to sing, and I had sheet music that I could read. My father used to sing, and I played, and our favorite song was the Bluebird of Happiness, and I think I've showed you my little ceramic bluebird that I still have that my father gave me one Christmas. Anyway, I always get so weepy when I talk about my mom and dad. They were wonderful people. I found him. This is the Bluebird of Happiness. This tail is missing. That broke off a little bit, But my father gave me this when I was probably about 10 years old. And this is the song that I used to play on the piano while he sang, and sometimes I sang with him. And we did that for years and years and years, probably until I got married. We were always singing that song, and I treasure this. I knew I had the sheet music to Bluebird of Happiness somewhere. I have a big pile of old sheet music from when I was a child. And I started going through the piano bench, which lifts up, and I found some of the songs that I used to play all the time. And I put them up and I started playing Rusty. And of course, the piano is kind of tinny. But before I did that, I cleaned all the keys really good with soap and water and some hard cleaner. And then I wiped off the whole piano. Meanwhile, Shamu stood around. Oh, was he mad at me? He didn't know what I was doing to his piano because, you know, that's where he sleeps and stays all day long. So, okay, that's that. Now I just have to get that ready for the washing machine and put it away. So here's all my clips, by the way. See the little clips? These are so easy to just clip on a new quilt. So I pulled out some that I used to play. I'm in the Mood for Love, and I have a book of Burt Bacharach, Alfie, and Blue on Blue, and all those songs that he wrote and played. And I used to love to play the Burt Bacharachs, and I played all the show tunes from back in the 50s and the 60s. I have all that sheet music, but I couldn't find my Bluebird of Happiness. I think it's in another pile that I have, and it's probably out in the shed. But I got a few things out and I started playing. I haven't even combed my hair yet today. I did film a little bit of me playing the piano. I thought if I cleaned it up, and we did take it and put it down on the street before we had a big pickup, set up a large pickup. They take washers and dryers. And Micah thought, well, maybe they will take the piano. So they're supposed to come, Brendan and Micah, today. So I cleaned it and everything, and I took everything out of my dressing table last night. Everything's ready to be moved and go. And I sat down at the piano, and I started looking at some of the sheet music and trying to play some of it. I realized I could still read sheet music. It's a long time since I sat down at that piano, and I don't know why. I used to play when Moosie was outside. I don't like to play in front of people. I play for my own enjoyment. I used to anyway. So I sat down at the piano looking like I just got out of bed, which I did. I did put some clothes on in case Brendan and Micah came down early. And I started to play. I was very rusty with the reading the music, and of course with bifocals now, I was trying to squint and read the music. I did take a little clip of me playing and probably wrecking the song, but you might hear bits and pieces of it. It was I'm in the Mood for Love. Do you remember that one from way back? And figure out my notes again. And in my head, I thought, I'm enjoying this. And usually if I pick up a piece of music and I play it at first, I make all kinds of mistakes with my notes. And but I hear some of my good playing in there. 50 cents, you can imagine, in the old days, that's what these cost. Heavens knows what they cost in the music stores now. And here's what I was playing, reading the notes. I was pretty proud of myself for not touching a piano for almost 5 years or more and being able to still read music. I was very rusty, that's for sure. But it came back to me, and you know what? I loved it. And I sat there for 2 hours, and I thought, do I want to get rid of this? Maybe this will be one of the things that I will enjoy in my super aging years as Moosie and I live out our life here, playing the piano, doing a little bit of my crafts, and taking care of Moosie. So now I have mixed feelings about getting rid of the piano. I don't know what to do. What would you do? I just don't know. I have all those sheet music, and I played a couple more. By the way, I have some more flowers too whenever I get to start. Maybe when Moosie's home and settled, in between times I can get to decoupaging a pumpkin. Someone else mentioned that you can dry flowers in the microwave. So I just couldn't wait to try it. So this afternoon, after I finished all my jobs, once again, I started at 7 in the morning this morning, and I tried it. You put it in between paper towels. You put something on it. Look at how some of these bougainvilleas came out. I love the color. Some of those are rose petals. Now, if you put a whole rose in, it would be too big. So you use little bits of petals. Let's show you this one. Look at this, the way this dried. Honestly, it's much easier than the iron, and of course, much faster than a press. The best leaves of all, look at this piece. This is a leaf that got stuck on some roses, but I think it's interesting looking. The best ones of all are these jasmine fern. They look like fern leaves, and those are basically your basis for a lot of the pretty things. You put the ferns on first when you're Mod Podging, and then you fill in with petals and flowers. I took some of my pink roses petals. They did things, and have some pretty little interesting things here. So I'm going to keep at it with the micro, I think, and replace some of these orange ones and put some dainty white pumpkins up there. But I did some more in the microwave oven, and I think that's the way to go. So meanwhile, the tubers and bulbs and rhizomes that Brendan and I planted are doing well out in the tubs. I water them every couple days. This is supposed to be mid-90s. They like weather maybe up to about 85, but beyond that, you have to make sure that they're moist in the heat. I'm gonna put up my white quilt. It's a pretty hand quilted, but it's all white, but it's nice, and I've washed it. It's ready to go. So it fits in with my fall decor, and it probably will stay up for Christmas too, although I do have a really pretty red and white quilt that I might put up at Christmas. So let me get busy. So I've measured which way it hangs. I've hung this before, and it just has to touch the floor so it doesn't sweep. So this is what you do. You start at one end, and you put them about 5 to 6 inches apart, and then I just open these little clips and clip them right on, and I just keep going to about 3 or 4. Then I start on the other end and make sure that they're all together when I get to the middle. I think there's about 14 of them, which seems to work for everything. That's about what you get, I think, in a package of these things. So they're easy to clip on. So I'll just keep going for a while here. And when I'm ready to put it on the rod, I'll get back to you. So that's about how far. Might be a little too far apart. We'll see. We'll attempt to hang them up. Well, another job accomplished. The Art Deco dressing table has been moved, and Brendan tested the walker. Moosie can now come through the bedroom and all the way through here, can get right into the bathroom right from here. And it looks like we're good. He can get the walker even through the door, believe it or not. And Mike hung up my other picture that kept falling. A lot of these are parents to these little great-grands. Now, these are Matt's children. This is Ryan, who is now 21, and she was the baby Jesus down here with the hat on. We were up in Big Bear the night before Christmas doing another nativity scene. But here, this is little Lizzie. She was now 8. And this is Megan. These are Mikey's. Dane is in here too. Maybe this is Dane. And some great grandkids here. Brendan. This is Brendan. Lauren. These kids are in college. Shannon's in college. Oh my gosh. So now I have my new quilt. It slides nice and easily with the rings on there for opening and closing. It's wonderful. And now it matches. Oh, by the way, I am going to see Moosie today, and I am also going to go to that Mexican grocery store. You wanted me to take you along with me again. I don't know what I can show you this time. Maybe I'll open up some of those tamale vats, and we'll smell them and look in. He's feeling great, and as a matter of fact, I'm on my way over there now. And he said, you know, if you're still doing stuff there, he's been enjoying watching the ball games now. He's like a total new person. And I do have an appointment over there on Tuesday to spend 2.5 hours with the occupational therapist and the physical therapist as to what he does, what he's doing, and what he will continue at home. We've ordered the PT fellows to come to the house once we get home, and they'll be coming 2 or 3 times a week, and also a nurse to come and still change the dressing. I know he has staples in his head, but I haven't seen it, but that thing is still on his head, that wound dressing. So she'll be coming to change that, and it's here. My Moosie survived yet another fall. As Dubby says, you're like Shamu. You and Shamu with your 9 lives. But he's a plugger, and he's anxious to come home. Thank you so much, all my friends. You are responsible, as anyone else, doctors, nurses, friends, with your prayers. So many prayers coming from you. Who would have thought that out there in this big world of ours that we had so many friends that care about us? I love you all so much, and we are so grateful for your prayers and your caring, for your enjoying our videos and binging and going back and looking at all the old ones. I'll see you real soon. And there's another video that you'll be getting soon, which will tell you all about the new plan for the cottage. Bye for now. Love you all, and God continue to bless us all.